Chosen one, I've been silent for 3 months. Not because I disappeared, but because I was being shown something. Something ancient, something humanity was never supposed to remember. They tried to erase it from every sacred text, from the Vedas to the Gnostic scrolls, from the Emerald Tablet to the words of Christ. But the truth echoes across all timelines, and I heard it. I walked through silence, through isolation, and in the stillness I was spoken to, not with words, but with knowing. And now, it's time for you to remember too. If this already resonates deep within your soul, like you've been waiting lifetimes to hear it, then like this video, subscribe to this channel, and comment Adonai so I know you're truly one of us. Because what I'm about to reveal was hidden for centuries by those who feared the awakening of the chosen. And yes, they tried to stop me. I felt it in my body, in my dreams, in the air around me. There were nights I couldn't breathe, not from fear, but because I was being watched. Ancient entities, guardians of the forgotten truths, tried to block the visions, but it was too late. The veil had already been lifted, and what I saw was clearer than any memory I've ever had. I saw a place not of this earth, neither heaven nor hell, but something older, a realm between the realms, where ancient truths are guarded by watchers of light and shadow. They showed me symbols older than any language we know, older than Sumer, older than Atlantis. And when I awoke, I could feel them burned into my soul. You were never meant to remember this. That's why they distract you. That's why you've been feeling this strange emptiness inside. It's not depression. It's spiritual amnesia. And some of you, the chosen ones, you were born to remember. You came here carrying codes hidden deep in your DNA. Codes the system tried to deactivate, but they failed. I must warn you, ever since I began to remember, entities have tried to interfere. Not all light is pure, not all darkness is evil, but both watch when one begins to awaken. They told us we are dust, flesh, temporary, but in the silence I saw a vision, a sacred pattern repeating across lifetimes. You are not a body, you are the observer of the body. The soul is the true architect. They feared us remembering this, because once you remember, you no longer obey, not to systems, not to lies, not to the false light they manufactured to distract you. In deep meditation, I saw it, symbols shifting in golden light, echoes of the Bhagavad Gita, whispers from the Desert Fathers, and in the middle, your face. Yes, you were in the vision. This reality was not designed for your freedom. It was built to keep you forgetting the veil, the distractions, the noise, but cracks are forming, and the veil is thinning. You felt it too, haven't you? The sense that something's off, that your soul remembers something the world has made you forget. This is not coincidence. It's activation. What they fear the most is that you wake up in this dream, that you reclaim your divine authorship, because a soul that remembers is ungovernable. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, they spoke of the heart being weighed against a feather, not to judge you, but to see if you remembered who you were, light and eternal. The Gnostics called this world a prison of matter, a copy of the real world where archons feed on your forgetfulness. Not demons in the way you think, but forces of distortion, thought parasites, architects of confusion. In one vision, I saw them trying to intercept the memory codes. I saw how they embed false teachings into systems of power, and how religions were infiltrated, not to liberate, but to control. Yet in that same vision, I saw you, a glowing thread in the matrix, untouched, hidden, sacred. You came here to remember, and by doing so, collapse the illusion from within. You are not a student of truth, you are its guardian, and guardians must first walk through forgetting to become impenetrable. The greatest lie was to convince humanity that God lives outside of them, in temples, in books, in men with robes and crowns. But the mystics of all ages whispered the opposite. Krishna said, "I am seated in the hearts of all beings." Yeshua said, "The kingdom is within you." And the Buddha spoke of nirvana, not as a place, but a state. So why have they built a world that keeps you looking outward? Because if you looked within for even a second, you'd remember. You'd see that your thoughts are not fully yours, that your fears were installed, that your limits are inherited illusions, and they cannot enslave a being who sees beyond the veil. That's why they keep you distracted, divided, drained. It's not random, it's a ritual. You are the altar, and your attention is the offering. And listen closely, everything I'm telling you here is just the surface, just a whisper of a much older truth, a blueprint that I've started to compile piece by piece, vision by vision. In sacred silence, I was shown fragments, symbols, patterns, hidden laws of reality, and I've begun writing them down for those who feel called, for those who know they came here for more. If you feel that pull, comment Adonai below, and I'll know you're ready. There will be something written soon, but only those with eyes to see will recognize it. You are not broken, you are not lost, you are simply remembering, and memory is painful. Only when truth was hidden for too long. You are the dreamer, but also the dream. You are the forgotten temple. And now the temple awakens. The ones who hid the truth, they never expected you to wake up. But here you are, and nothing will ever be the same again. So breathe deep, feel your power. The veil is thin now, and your time has come. This path, it isn't for the faint of heart, but you didn't find this message by accident. Your soul brought you here, because it remembers what your mind forgot. In ancient texts, from the Vedas to the Nag Hammadi, from the Tao Te Ching to the Emerald Tablet, they all point to one truth. The kingdom of heaven is within, but they distracted you. They turned your gaze outward. They made you beg for what was already yours. No more, this is your reclamation, your sacred return, the reactivation of the divine within. And if your heart burns with this knowing, if something ancient stirs within you as you hear these words, then you're ready for more. I'm working on something sacred, a written transmission, a guide beyond the veil. If your spirit is drawn to it, comment, "I'm ready," below. I'll know you're one of the few. And now, go forth, therefore, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one infinite Creator. Adonai.